Approximately 35 kilometers off the coast of São Paulo, there is an isolated island that, at first glance, might seem like just another piece of land in the Atlantic Ocean. But that impression doesn't last long. Because Queimada Grande Island, better known as Snake Island, is not just remote. It is, in reality, one of the most dangerous environments in Brazil, and possibly one of the few places on Earth where human presence is not just discouraged, but considered a real risk to survival. For centuries, the island remained almost untouched, surrounded by rough waters and natural isolation that prevented permanent settlement. It wasn't until the early 20th century that humans made a serious attempt to occupy it, with the construction of a lighthouse. Its purpose was simple but critical: to guide ships navigating this dangerous stretch of coastline where shipwrecks were not uncommon. At the time, the lighthouse depended entirely on a human operator, the lighthouse keeper. And as was typical back then, he did not live alone. His family lived there with him, sharing the isolation and the unknown risks. What no one could have anticipated was that the real danger was not coming from the ocean, but from the island itself. Over time, a story began to circulate among sailors and locals. A story never officially confirmed, yet never forgotten. According to these accounts, on what seemed like an ordinary night, something changed. The snakes began to invade the lighthouse, slithering through windows, through cracks, through any opening they could find, silently moving through the corridors, taking over the structure. With no way out and no protection, the lighthouse keeper and his family were said to have been completely surrounded. And according to the legend, they did not survive. Whether this story is entirely true or shaped over time remains uncertain. But one thing is clear. Shortly after, the lighthouse was automated, and since then, no one has ever lived on the island again. But what truly makes Snake Island so extreme is not just the stories. It's science. Queimada Grande holds one of the highest snake densities on the planet. In some areas, multiple snakes can be found within just a few square meters. But there is something even more important. The island is the only natural habitat of a species known as the Golden Lancehead, a snake found nowhere else on Earth. Isolated for thousands of years, this species evolved in a completely different way from its mainland relatives. With no mammals available as regular prey, the Golden Lancehead adapted to hunt migratory birds, and that changed everything. To catch prey that could simply fly away, its venom had to become faster, more efficient, and far more lethal. The result is an extremely potent toxin, capable of acting within minutes. In humans, it can cause intense pain, tissue destruction, and in severe cases, systemic failure. This is why access to the island is strictly controlled by the Brazilian Navy. Only authorized researchers, under strict safety protocols, are allowed to step foot there. Every step must be calculated, every movement monitored, because on that island, the danger is never theoretical. It is constant. And yet, there is something even more fascinating. Despite all the danger, Snake Island also holds immense scientific value. The venom of the Golden Lancehead contains unique compounds, with potential for medical breakthroughs. But that same value has attracted illegal interest. And this is where the danger takes on another dimension. Because this is not just a hostile environment, it is a fragile ecosystem. And removing even a single element can disrupt the entire balance. So in the end, one question remains. If you had the opportunity, with the right equipment and full awareness of the risks, would you step foot on Snake Island? Or are some places simply not meant to be explored?